That is right. We have intro music thanks to the one and only Nolo. And remember, Nolo means quality. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Jeff here once again for another episode of Operation Gundam History. This week we're going over part 4 of the series, Eve of Destiny. That's right, Eve of Destiny. We're 4 episodes deep. We got 2 left to go. This episode is a long one. It is probably about a 2-hour listen, so recommend you getting a nice snack, meal, drink, whatever. Listen on your car ride to work. Break it up into chunks if you have to, because trust me, it's a long one, it's a doozy, but it's a fun one. It's a fun ride. Anyway, I want to stop talking. We're going to get to the episode. Y'all be good, and I'll catch y'all afterwards.
Universal Century 0078, October 24th. The Republic of Zeon ratifies its transformation into a principality. Concurrently, it declares its independence from the Earth Federation. Sing Zeon! Sing Zeon! Sing Zeon! Sing Zeon!
Rebel, do you think maybe it's finally time to carry out the relocation to Jabbarol?
Yes, I think it is. Garen Zabi is a man who will stop at nothing to get what he wants.
Who knows how this will all turn out? To think war is upon us again, and in this brand new era.
Hello everyone, it's George and I. We're back talking about Origin episode 4, which I'm going to say, I don't remember off the top of my head. This is Eve of Destiny, which is correct. We're about to start some shit.
Yeah, man, this is where it pops off.
Yeah, it's like this episode's weird because pacing wise, it goes from here's a bunch of heavy dialogue at the beginning, and here's like a good 20 minutes of action, almost 30 minutes of action, and even then they have some action sprinkled in the beginning, but it's like a tonal. I guess not a tonal shift, but it's a shift from here's all this dialogue and world building to all right, let's blow some shit up. It's like I'm okay with both.
Yeah. Oh man, and this is like the last episode without any like war crimes. So this is like the last semi-enjoyable battle you'll see.
I feel like Dawn of Rebellion, there were some war crimes there, but we don't have to talk about those.
Well, that was like an actual like rebellion, you know, like that was
true.
That one's a little different. They were like oppressed. I'm willing to like benefit of the doubt that, like, I understand, like, I don't know what the Geneva Convention is on like setting up claymores right outside someone's house. I assume it's not favorable, but also I don't know if that's mentioned anywhere. But dude, in episode 5, oh my god, just straight up, the most horrendous thing humanity's ever done to each other is in episode 5. It's terrible.
Episode 5 might be like the 2-hour long podcast, not because we wanted to, but just because how much stuff happens in that sequence that we're gonna allude to. But for those that know what we're talking about, holy shit! All the war crimes all at once.
Yeah,
all of them.
I just watched it today, man, and I was just like, it bummed me out. Like it was so weird seeing myself get depressed in real time. Like it was shocking. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to tease too much future content.
Oh, it's all good. I'm just gonna say the first time I watched that episode and like seeing how they did the whole thing, I like emotionally was distraught. I paused the episode for about a good 15 minutes and just kind of like walked away and cleared my head for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is a lot. But you know what is a lot? The action in Eve of Destiny. That's right. Eve of Destiny is today's topic. Episode 5 going to be coming to y'all real soon. And by real soon, I mean 2 weeks' time from when it's posted. So, but before we dive in, George, let the people know how you're doing. What's on your mind? What do you think of this episode overall?
I'm good, man. I'm doing well. I had a fun weekend. It was nice. This is like one of the first weekends where I didn't guiltily work during the weekend.
Nice.
Where I normally do a little bit of work, like 5 hours worth throughout the weekend. So I was really happy to just not do that this weekend. It was good.
I feel that. Yeah, I got to chill yesterday. It was nice.
Oh my god, yeah. I just got to do housework, got to do some yard work, and it was just like, oh man, like I might even play a video game tonight. I'm not gonna just like rush in and start redoing presentations and rewriting the copy on everything.
Is like yard work therapeutic? Like when you own a house, is that what it is?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, because to me, just like yard work seems like just chores from back when I was a child living with my parents. And so,
I get that. It really feels like giving your house like a haircut. Like there's just something like really nice about it.
These are terms I can relate to. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah,
glad you got to give your house a haircut.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm all right. By the time this episode comes out, I would have been back from vacation. We're recording it before I'm going on vacation, so yeah, I'm going to be mentally and physically in a better state of mind by the time I get back, and
awesome.
I'm super excited because I have not taken time off. I haven't taken significant time off to do nothing like I'm about to do in probably like 2 years.
Damn.
And so, like most vacations I go, I was like, oh, I'll go network with people or hang out or go do stuff and things, or I'll freelance while I'm somewhere and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's like, no, I'm going to hang out and just turn my brain off for a bit, and it's going to be fun.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on this episode? Because it's a slow burn in my opinion. It's like the Age of Ultron of the episodes, in my humble opinion.
That makes sense. Can I make an assumption of what that means?
Yeah.
All right. So when you're not watching it, you're thinking like, man, that's not very good. Like, I wish I could skip this in the marathon. But then when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is actually way better than I remember. Is that?
Yes.
Is that
exactly?
Okay. Cool.
Watching it like the first time, I was like, it's fine, but it's better than 1 and 2, but it's definitely weaker than 3.
Yeah.
And like out of the whole like series, I'm like, it's probably one of the weaker ones. But watching it, it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of cool things that happen here, and there's a lot of like small world building things that I would not have paid attention, that I didn't pay attention to the first time I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, oh, this is why this happened. Oh, this makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't want to. Can I spoil something that happens in the episode about why this is like such a big deal?
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it. So if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't watched the episode, this is on you. It's all on you for getting spoiled.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Go check it out. It's great.
Exactly.
This is the first mobile suit battle to ever canonically happen, right?
Yup. I pulled that clip ASAP because that was honestly like, it's so sick too. It's so sick.
Yeah, man, it was great, and it really sort of showed the strengths and weaknesses of both Xeon and the Federation in like a micro way, you know, whereas just like the Federation has big numbers, but they don't have as well designed stuff. The Xeon have fewer numbers, but like their shit pops off every time. Like they always know how to twist the knife particularly well, and so just like seeing that, it's just like, man, the Federation just looks so screwed. Like,
and this was like, that was the big turning point from having Xeon look like the underdog in the fight to them being, oh, they're actually superior to the Federation when it comes to battle. Yeah, like in this particular aspect right now, they don't have the numbers like you said, but they will rip you piece by piece if they have to. God,
yeah, vicious. But I assume we'll get to that later. But like that is why this episode is so cool. That's why this episode is so important. And it's kind of a dinky battle, but you know, like the first time humans flew, it was for like, what was it, like 90 feet or whatever in North Carolina, right? Like the Wright brothers, like, yeah, you're not gonna fly across the Atlantic the first time you fly. Come on now. And so like this fight was like a little dinky because like the Federation suits just sucked ass. Like they were just really bad gun.
They look cool if they were like guarding, I don't know, the Pentagon or something like that.
better statues, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, if I'm in my Zaku, it's like, oh, 100%, I'm eating this thing for lunch.
Yeah. God. The politics and like the behind the scenes stuff in this episode, I thought were really interesting, and I think, as cool as the battle was, I think that the machinations going on both sides, awesome. Like I thought that was super cool, and also it established like how two really important characters to the greater Gundam mythos met.
Yep. That's at the very beginning, which we're about to dive into the beginning of the episode right now.
Yeah.
We open up as you guys heard in the opening clip. Zeon declares independence at this point of the story, and the war begins. There's another clip where the cadets are getting praised for them taking over the barracks or whatever for the Federation. Garma's getting like all front and center, saying hi, what's up, and Lino, our unfortunate Lino, gets a portrait of him because he died bravely in battle, so they think. Which, that was kind of cool. They gave Lino some shine, but it's also like, damn, he really doesn't deserve this, but all right.
Oh, it's not that he doesn't deserve this. It's just like, man, this guy, this poor sap, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, he's technically a defector as well, because he wants he's on Casval's side, you know? And Char, aka Casval, he's really just here to get his own personal glory and vendetta out the way. But also, I think it's interesting. They had Garma in front and Char right behind him as his like right hand man. Mm-hmm. Even though we know Char hates this guy's guts.
Yeah,
and he takes like no pleasure in the glory of it, which is kind of interesting in my opinion.
Super interesting, especially as someone who watched like 4, 5, and 6 back to back today.
Oh man,
really interesting about how little praise he wants here, but how excited he is for it later. So it's showing more growth and more change in that character, which is always an interesting thing to see. Yeah, man.
Which we'll get to at the first mobile suit battle you mentioned. Like, we'll notice why is Char so different. That motherfucking red.
Oh man, yeah, it's super cool. God, this show's great. Yeah, man. It was so weird to like see the ritual of everything when like it's just Char just pulling strings, trying to like move the chessboard without them seeing any kind of hand. And so it's just, God, what a sociopathic little 17-year-old that that Casval turned out to be.
I love it and hate it at the same time because I don't fully hate him, but it's like, damn, if I knew who you were and knew what was going on, man, I'd be so pissed off.
That's the thing. That's the problem with these like retroactive, like new backstory being added, where it's like, man, they really made Char look like a psycho, whereas like in the original like movies and TV show, he just kind of looked like a badass.
Yeah,
like it looked like he took advantage of certain situations to like do what he wanted to do. But like here, it's like he manipulated the entire war just to get into certain positions. Like he looks like an actual psycho in Origins, but like he's really charming, so I forget that he's a psycho a lot of times, and then he'll just have a moment where I'm like, oh,
he's got drip, he's got the sunglasses and everything. Like he's chilling, man. He's a man of the people, but by people he means his own personal cause. So but we cut to like the adults meeting with like Rebel and the Daegwon in their side, and basically like, all right, what do you want to do to appease? And Daegwon's like saying, hey, get your forces away and we'll punish whoever was in charge of this, which leads us into our first clip of the day, which I think is interesting because I'll say afterwards, but I think you'll get my drift after this.
What kind of idiot are you? Why do you think I appointed you the superintendent of the military academy? You had one purpose! One! That was to protect Garma! Now listen, you useless oaf!
Excuse me. Sorry about this. Am I interrupting something important?
Not at all. We're finished here. Garma, why don't you come see me in my chambers?
Should I be worried? Father seems to be in a really bad mood. Maybe I shouldn't have taken such drastic measures.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. You've done well. Your actions prove you're a real zombie man.
I guess it does, doesn't it?
Go back to what follows after he goes into those chambers, but Daegwon has a soft spot. Garma is the baby, and Garma's the one that's supposed to be protected.
Yeah, I mean, Garma sucks, but
he does.
But all of his kids suck. They're all like on the fascist spectrum. It's just like to which degree. Like Girin's like obviously the worst,
right?
And then Cassilia's probably second, then Dozel's probably middle, and then
I feel like Dozel and Garma are the only two redeemable ones, And I think Dagwin, at the end of the series, we'll see, he becomes redeemable towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so weird to see that happen after all this go down.
I don't think it's weird to see Dagwin with the soft side, especially when it's like for Garma. I think it's weird to see Dozel like sort of knock knees, you know, like he was just shaking in his boots. He was so scared when like he's always been like the loudest, most assertive person in the room, but then like he pales in comparison to his father, you know.
Yeah.
And so that is super interesting that he's like his own kryptonite, you know.
Yeah, well, I feel like the father is the most, in their eyes, the most evil of them all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like even in the context of the story at this point, I wouldn't say he's the most evil of them all, but he's definitely has all the power and he has all the chips.
Sure.
If something were to happen and go down, it has to go through Dagwin as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Garen is the mouthpiece and the military leader. Dagwin's the actual mastermind and the one running the show, quote unquote, for now at least. And then it feels like he wants Garma to make his own destiny and not fall in the same path, which I'm about to roll the clip right now, because this conversation here, it seems out of character for who we're dealing with when it comes to Zeon. But here's the clip.
The most important thing is you weren't hurt, Garma. You are important to the nation. You must take care of yourself. Giron, Dozel, and Cassilia are all bloodthirsty by nature. Alas, of all of them, only you have a gentle disposition. I should have encouraged you to take the path of a scholar. Instead, I enrolled you at the military academy. Come here, Garma. Approach me.
Huh?
I would like you to come over here by my side and take my hand. What do you think? Does my hand feel cold to you?
Not at all. It feels warm to me. Very.
Is that so? Well, your cheek is also equally warm. Let's stay like this for a little longer, my son. You have my sympathies. When one has reached a certain age, it's not fair to have
What do you think
children.
that line means? When one reaches a certain age, it's not fair to have children.
I think he's seen, because going off that whole conversation, I think he says that because at this point he's seeing what his children have become, and it's a reflection of who he is and was while raising them. And I think that's the first sign of resentment that he has with his older children, at least with Cassilia and Garen.
Sure.
Dozel's kind of out there, but he wants Garma to be different than the rest of them. And he pretty much said it. He did say it.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, Garma's the favorite. He's like, please, Garma, be better than us, is essentially what he was saying the whole time.
Yeah, that, and just, like, the entire family is dominated by, like, this military tradition. He's just like, why the hell did I do that to you? Why did I enroll you?
Yeah.
That's so dumb. You should have been a professor or something.
He could have stopped it, but there's this is like that's such a not disconnect, but it's so different than what we're used to seeing out of this family.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've only seen Garma with the whole family a handful of times, and I think this is the only real significant time he's been with his family. Well, until we get to the end of the series. So that's a good, like, nice soft moment there.
Well, that, and I don't think we see him with his family in the original series at all.
No, I think we see him a lot with Char. I know that much.
Yeah, but like we don't see him like opposite like Giran or Kshidia, Dozel.
I think there's one scene before he goes on his like ground forces stuff, but that's it. And I think that's the one scene that he gets in the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of Zen-like too. Like it really, because if you watch it from episode 3, go straight into 4. You go from this really high energy, tense situation to this nice, calm, slow moment. Even though these people, his son's responsible for the deaths of a couple hundred men right now in the base that got destroyed. But
no, you're totally right though. Like this is a really nice moment, and it definitely foreshadows stuff that happens in the original series. foreshadows, bear shadow, like back shadows. I don't know how to do it when it's
Yeah,
something that comes out later that takes place before. I don't know where the shadows are cast there.
I think it's like backfilled.
Yeah,
I think backfilled is the right word, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, just
we'll go with it.
Yeah, we just got Melvin Gordon in the backfield. Yeah, and so like there's huge emotional beats that happen between Degwin and Garma in the original series, and so it's really nice to see that was explored in like a different context, you know, when it's not war, but like just, you know, like the weird preamble to war where it's like a tense situation and just makes you believe that relationship just because it's happening in so many different contexts. So that's cool.
And also, you don't really see a lot of. I mean, this is the only real family we see in the whole series. Like, I want to say, out of everything that happens, this is like the one big family moment. Tim and Amuro maybe share half a moment together, if that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point. Yeah, and you know, Cosval walked out on Sayla. So
yep, he definitely did. He walked out, changed his name, got a whole bunch of people killed, and is now a bloodthirsty ace pilot. So good for him. Great life choices, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I'm all for it. But Char gets sent off as punishment because Dozel obviously knew, like, hey, Garma's not gonna be the one who does this. Char, gives your plan. I gotta kick you out for right now. And Char's like, all right, whatever, it's cool. He's not too butthurt about it, but he does have a caveat to if he were to come back, which I like this part a lot. This whole first segment, everybody, there's a lot of really good moments. So this is going to be clip heavy in the middle. I mean, in the beginning. The middle, not so much. In the end, there's going to be some clips as well. But here's another clip for your head top.
Into this whole mess. So don't think you're getting a raw deal because you're being scapegoated. Now then, what have you got to say for yourself?
Nothing. Nothing at all, sir.
A straight shooter, all right? What are your plans? Tell me.
I've always dreamed of visiting Earth one day, and now is my chance.
Then you're in luck, cadet.
Thank you. This is Private Char Osnable, and I respectfully take my leave. I am in your debt, Colonel.
Take care, all the best.
Colonel, one more thing. I have a little favor to ask. If for whatever reason in the future, should I ever be called into service, I'd like very much to be given the opportunity to be trained as a mobile suit pilot.
Did you say mobile suit? Garma must have blabbed about it. All right, fine. I shall consider your request.
My sincerest gratitude, sir.
This master manipulator of Char.
Yeah, just BT dubs. I heard about this super ultra classified thing that's going to reinvent the face of modern warfare. I'd like to play with that when I get back, if that's cool with you. Like, that's just, it's so weird. I understand why it's there, but it just feels like, it feels so weird in hindsight.
It feels out of place. It's like, oh, was even through all this training and stuff and got to be a pilot. No, he just led a rebellion, got kicked out, and just got requested to come back as a pilot because he found out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the fall guy in your weird situation just to keep your brother out of jail, basically. But you know what I'd need you to do? Just indulge me with top secret classified information that your brother shouldn't have told me about. Like, it's just weird. I don't know if like Char's, like, I don't know if Char's like really in a position to be bargaining right now.
But somehow he is. But I think he knows that Dozel is the soft one, though.
Sure.
I think he knows that. Because there's no way you're getting... Like, he just goes along, all right, whatever, I'll leave. It's cool. And then it's like, oh, yeah, let me drop the secret information that not many people know, like you said. And just, boom, put you in a corner. It's like, what? So, just... smart ass 17-year-old or however old he is at this point in time. Yeah. I wish I was that smart at his age. Wish I was. Maybe I'd have a real job and get real money, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you'd be on the news if you were anything like this guy, you know?
Very true. Very true. Yeah, let me walk that back. Let me walk that
like,
back.
I feel so... Char is, like, definitely killed pets, right? Like he's like seen like a stray cat in an alley and just like kicked it just to see what it felt like.
I don't think I could. I think he has a little more compassion than that. I bet he probably found like field mice or something and like drowned them.
That's fair. I actually think he respects animals more than he respects people.
Yeah,
I get that feeling with Char because he's just like a cat would never betray me the way the zombies betrayed my family. Yeah, like I reclaim that statement. But I swear he does like little messed up things. He has to.
I bet he would be the person to like get frogs and put firecrackers in their mouths and like let them hop away, see what happens and shit like that. I bet he would do that.
Yeah, probably. Mammals
100%.
Mammals are cool, but amphibians, GTFO. I don't want to deal with you. You're unnatural. You shouldn't be in space.
or he puts like tiny hats on birds and glues their heads.
All right, I like that it's gone from like, oh, he definitely kills animals
great
in his
image.
spare time, right? To like, yeah, or he just dresses them up like Victorian grocers, you know? Like,
But he glues them, so it's awful. It's abuse still, you know?
yeah.
They live through this. They just got a hat stuck to their head and can't get it off.
What do you think?
What happens if they fall into a power line? Clothes
Yeah,
on it, you know?
in my head, it was a top hat. Were you thinking top hat?
You know the hat makes the bird, so the hat makes the bird.
I'm not,
But we get
I'm not here to
Zinna
make
coming
those
in.
choices.
We get Zinna coming in immediately afterwards, which Dozel spills his guts. I'm not gonna play the clip because it's important, but it's not important right now. It will be later down the line, but Zinna basically agrees to be Dozel's missus. I'm like, dang, Dozel has 0 game, but it's like, will you please bear my heirs?
I respect his game though, because that's like, oh, guys, like I want to go say I want to talk to that person, but like I don't know what good pickup line's like. Oh, you know what a really good pickup line is? Just fucking hello. That's a pretty good pickup line. And Dozo like doesn't know how to like have a relationship, so he's just like, hey, I'm just gonna be a straight shooter. Just gonna tell you exactly what I want right now. I'm getting fired from my job. Yeah, I'm getting fired from my job, and you're the only woman I've ever spoken to who I'm not related to.
Who's not trying to kill everybody in the world?
Yeah. Do you wanna see where things go? Like, what are you doing after this? You know, like
I'm no longer over the school, so. Also, to be fair, Zinna is like an adult. She's like 18 to 21, and Dozel's only like maybe 25 max, 27 at the very, very oldest.
Yeah, he just looks like he's 58.
Yeah.
And Dagon
I know.
Looks like he's 10,000. Yeah.
I mean, Dagon is a salamander. He lives forever, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But Char's punishment, he goes to Earth, which, to be fair, that is some shitty punishment. We can live in space. To Earth. How mad would you be? He's like, hey, bro, you gotta go to Earth, dog. It's like, but we hate Earth. We hate the Federation. I don't want to be here.
Well, it's not even that he goes to Earth. It's like he goes to Earth and he's working as a construction worker building the new Federation base. Right?
Right. Insult to injury.
Rough stuff for our good friend Char.
Yeah, which he excels pretty well because he does the mobile. He works on the mobile worker, which is smart. Which I didn't think about it until after I watched the episode. He goes to pilot the mobile worker on the job to basically get his pilot experience. So when he eventually gets to fly Zaku, he already knows most of how it works. Well, for the most part, at least. So that's 40 chess by him. But he's also a chameleon, just acting like he hates the Zeon forces and whatnot to the construction workers. He's lied about his past and whatever, so.
Oh, that's great. Little Charmeleon, yeah.
Is that the title of the episode? Charmeleon?
No.
We had a Char's board.
We'll get like is it DCMA strike takedown notice from Pokemon if we do that. So
I know people at the Pokemon Company. We can make it happen.
all right, cool. But no, dude, I love it. Like
figure
he just like slips into a construction site and he's just ripping butts, just being like, man, fuck those space noids. You know what I mean? Those guys can go to hell. They suck. Not cool like us Earthers, am I right?
Am I right, fellow teens?
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking
real cop energy. Not gonna lie.
just chain smoking in the corner. It's just like, so how much do space people suck, right? But they all got tiny wieners, huh? Am I right? Agree with me, guys.
What's the deal with space people? You know. But
you're all the way in outer space, and you need more space. Yeah, just like, I can't really do it, Jerry. I'm sorry. I tried.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm better at accents and impressions as well. That's why I don't do that form of comedy, which is cool. Enough. But we fast forward to the casino, which we finally see Lala at the casino.
Oh yeah.
Which she's with her, I guess would be Sultan or whatever. It's a weird situation.
She's like, she was like trafficked, and he's he's like a slave runner, right?
Something like that. Which he meets a very pleasant end, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And they're at this roulette table, and she has her, I guess her new type power, which the word has been brought up in the first 2 episodes, but hasn't really been discovered or seen yet. Where they're at the table, and he was able to put his bet. But before he puts the bet down, he writes in his back the number to hit on.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? My man's hit it big. Was doing quite well. But then they noticed, and there's the shift change, which ruined everything. Oh boy. The shift change.
Which is so weird, because like, I get a shift change for like blackjack or, Texas or something, because like, people have tells, like even a dealer, when they're looking at their cards, they're going to have like a little tell. So I can totally understand like doing a shift change there. But like in a game of roulette that's like purely chance, I don't get the benefit of a shift change. I mean, it worked, because dude started losing after that. Lala couldn't keep up. She said later that it was like, yeah, the woman kept doing it wrong. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
How is she dropping a marble on a spinning table wrong? I don't know, Lala. But she kept losing, and so I guess
where's the error?
Yeah, she must have been doing something wrong. But that's just weird to me. But it worked. It shouldn't have worked, but it did work.
But our pal Char noticed that she got that prediction right from the very beginning, and then somehow tracked him down to the boat, which unfortunately her owner hit her across the face, which is fucked up. Which is why I said he makes it a nice, pleasant death. But here's a clip showing Char's human side for a change.
Is that your family? It's quite big. So where are they all now?
Mumbai.
In India? You're a long way from home. Do you go back to visit?
I send them the money I make. Having money is much better for them than having me around anyway.
Your family photos seen better days.
It became all warped when I got it wet. Do you think it's possible to fix something like that?
Sure it is. All you do is scan it, touch up the image, and reprint it.
Really? Would you be able to do that for me? It's my only picture of them, so it would mean the world to me.
Char does have a human side for a change, which is nice. I thought that was pretty sweet that he noticed something in her that was different, which I think is the same thing that is different with him, like we mentioned last episode, where the guy touched his shoulder and just went, "Ooh!" And he just kind of like was keen to that. So I feel like maybe his new type powers are activating. I don't know. I could be wrong there.
No, I think you're 100% right. Where it's just like people like it feels like early X-Men comics where it's just like, oh, this mutant gene is like awakening in all of us, and it's all about the thrill and excitement when you find someone else who's like you, who like has like just a different world perspective because of like, brain chemistry, I guess technically. And so it's super exciting.
Yeah, good for him, because it's nice to see that he still has a heart of some sort after all the stuff he's done the last 3 episodes. Like, oh man. But yeah, Lala is just kind of treated like shit, unfortunately. But that all comes to an end pretty soon, which I'm so glad it does, because this fight scene right here, you're not going to hear the whole entire thing for the people listening at home, But you know exactly what scene I'm talking about when you hear this clip play.
Leave the girl here and just go.
Which one would you like to lose? An arm, perhaps? Or how about your head?
Neither. Thank you very much.
Please, no!
I can see you even in the shadows! You just got lucky.
Man!
That was intense as hell, man. That's like how you like kill Freddy Krueger in like the third act, you know? Like,
Right.
That's hardcore.
And y'all know the scene where it's Lala and her handler, they flee with Char to the construction site. Aga, the hitman, lives and takes out old dude's head. Literally takes out old dude's head with the cleanness of just shink. And then Aga throws the disc again at Char. Shout out to Lala though with the senses and giving that instinct and just
Clutch
dodges it.
Clutch save.
Which, yeah, that's the first, I guess, not telepathic, but I guess it is telepathic, like new type interaction right there.
Yeah, I'd count it.
That's so nice, so good. I like that scene, but it's so graphic. Like, I definitely wasn't expecting all of that to happen and for them to show all of that. But I was sports entertained, as I would say if I was watching wrestling. You know, I was here for it.
The way his head spins around before like falling off is so unsettling and amazing.
It really is.
Because like Gundam's all about like horrendous shit, but like the horrendous shit happens so quickly. Where like, I don't know, like in the original series, it'll like cut to like a cockpit and be like, "Oh my god, it's exploding! I love you, Mom. Please forgive me." And it's like he'll get cut off and just then it'll like pull back and just like show the mobile suit exploding. Like that, like moments like that are just scattered throughout every series. But like you don't really see, like it's like powerful imagery, but like it's never really like graphic. Like no one makes a kill look cool necessarily.
It's so clean. It's quote unquote clean in Gundam, where it's like, oh, I blew up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then just like to see this, where it's just like the abject horror of seeing someone's head go like 360 degrees around, just fall off. Like this is horrible. Really well done, but God, I hate watching that part.
And then not to mention the the broken shovel through the chest, and then the disc to the head. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, that dude died twice.
Y'all said that dude twice. They said, "All right, y'all, we got to up the blood and gore factor in this episode." It's like, you sure? It's like, yeah, it's fun. Crank it to 11. Crank it to 11.
It's tight. Don't worry about it. It's tight.
Yeah. So kids will love this. It's basically, oh yeah, that's good shit. That's good shit. But that was really aggressive, really fast, and then it kind of picks up here because then they go the people that Aga got paid off by were going to invade the construction site because they wanted Lala for her powers, and Char's like, oh no, we gotta get out of here. Which they don't show how much time has passed since he's been from the academy to working the construction site. I'd assume it's been maybe 6 months to a year tops. No, it can't be a year. It can't be a year because it's this is what UC 77 or
UC
something?
78. Yeah.
Yeah. This is right before like, the other shit pops off. So yeah. But here's another clip. Cause like I said, clip heavy for this part right here.
What the hell is that thing?
Lala, that's your name, right? How do you explain what happened back there?
What do you mean?
The weapon came from behind me, so I couldn't have seen it. But I was able to sense it and dodged it at the very last moment. You didn't say anything to warn me, did you?
I didn't. No.
I see. Very strange. If it's true that you really don't care about going back home, why don't we go someplace really far?
Where? Like how far a place? America? Or Japan?
Actually, I meant somewhere farther. Let's go to the stars.
Some space shit about to go down
Also-
again.
Also, that was really, they did their research, because, you know how, like, sorry, we just watched a clip. I don't know if you're in a position to watch the clip we just saw or not, if you're listening to this. You know how we have, like, the Northern Star up here? In South America, they have the Southern Cross, and so, like, that was the constellation you just saw. But it's, like, the same thing, where it's just, like, a fixed point. It just goes due south. And that was what they showed, because Manassas, I think, is, like, northern Brazil. Western Brazil, because it's like right where Jabro is, and it's in like the Guiana Highlands.
I am so bad with star constellations, so you just learned me up today. I learned something. I'm good to go.
I grew up in Maine where there are no house lights to block out stars, so I'm used to looking up at stars.
Nice. That sounds like kind of zen in its own state, you know. Might go out.
Oh my god, it's great. It's like my eyes are smoking weed. It's everything I want.
Everything you wanted and more.
Yeah, buddy.
But so basically, Char gets the mole worker, causes a bunch of havoc, which you guys all saw. But very important, where he has another, like, well, this whole thing is like a moment of kindness towards Lala. Where it's like, let's go to the stars. And like, in her mind, she sees, oh, let's go somewhere far away. Yeah, America, Japan, which is crazy because a lot of people, like, who want freedom or a new life, they always say like people that aren't American say I want to go to America. The Americans are always like I want to go to Japan. So I don't know. I found that as an interesting inference there. I don't know. If
that's cool. Right, yeah, and then just the implication that like no, space is like the place for real freedom.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting read. I dig that.
I need these billionaires to find a way to make space travel affordable. Then I'll start caring about their space ventures.
I'm not ever going to space. That sounds like a nightmare, dude.
Look, I don't have a lot going for me here on Earth. So if I can go to space...
I get that, but like, dude, like I drive a Jetta and like that thing breaks down all the time, and like it's fine because like you know there's air where I am and there's solid ground, but like if the space Jetta equivalent breaks down, like I just don't know what to do. Like I don't really know what Plan B is. Up
like,
there
shit,
in a way that I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in Plan B, Earth side, but space side, I'm little less sure. You know,
out there trying to push a Jetta in space, no gravity, so you're good to go there.
Yeah, God. So the struts shouldn't be affected, but it's always the struts. The struts to my car always screwed. Thanks a lot, Volkswagen, for nothing. Appreciate it.
Oh. I think my biggest fear would be like if like I broke down in a remote area of space, because I feel like if we get to that point in space travel, it'll be like, oh, somebody could come by and pick you up, or like there's like another thing coming by, you can like hitch a ride somewhere and whatever.
Yeah, just get like a lunar Uber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my fear is like one day I'm gonna go venture to this dark side of this planet, busted. Well, I only have oxygen for the next 12 hours. Cool. It's going to take me 18 to make it back home. I am dead. Officially.
Yeah. Well, it's that. It's also like, I don't know, like I get really bad anxiety when I fly now, you know? And like, I try not to have panic attacks, but like I usually do, which is why I try to get drunk in the airport before I get on my flight. And like, that's for like a 5-hour flight. Like the moon is what, like 260,000 kilometers away, 260,000 miles away, like some preposterously large number. Like,
yeah, something like that.
Like, I'm supposed to be drunk for 2 weeks. I don't know if my liver can handle that. Like,
have you watched the movie? Is it Martian with they have to go get the guy from Mars?
Oh, with Matt Damon. Yeah,
Matt Damon,
that movie rules. Yeah.
Like when they said, "All right, we got to turn back around and go get Matt Damon off of Mars." I'm like, we're gonna add another like X amount of years to our trip. I'm like, X amount of years? Hold up. Or even like Alien, where Ripley comes back and like finds out her daughter died because she like it's been 50+ years. Like, oh yeah,
she's drifting in space for 57 years. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, so sad.
Like that's the thing that I would miss out. I'd hate because like I'm in space. I have no concept of time. But by the time I come back, I might look the same age as I was now, but I'm actually 85. All my friends and family are gone because they're on Earth.
It's absolutely insane. That's one thing I love doing is just like drinking a couple glasses of wine, maybe knocking back a few beers, and then just going on YouTube and checking out the PBS Spacetime channel.
Yeah, nice.
Every week they
PBS was
upload
good
something that
content.
they just blow my mind every week, and they talk about like, you know, they actually like explain like the theory of relativity and like how it's been proven and disproven in like a whole bunch of ways, and like they just talk about like all this space stuff that at like such an in-depth level, that like I actually feel like I'm learning something. Like it's not just them talking to kids about space. It's like, and the sun gets really bright and hot, and like, but like they actually explain like, and the friction from the particles moving around so much, like that's what caused it. Like they just like say things intelligently that you can still digest. It's so nice. Yeah, so doing that, and that's like why I've got so many shaped opinions of space travel now. Thank you, Space Time.
Well, you gotta digest this next part when Tim gets to see the Zaku's in person and realize that Minovsky has succeeded.
Yeah.
He has miniaturized the nuclear reactor to make these suits work. Which is also weird to think that when these suits blow up, a nuke is going off. Is like nuclear pollution and radiation not a thing in space, I guess?
Not
like,
all. They've actually very specifically talked about this in some Gundams where it's like, there's ways to blow it up without setting off the nuclear reactor. And they've also tried to be like, okay, we got to blow up this mountain. Like, I think it was in 08, the MS team. They're like, we got to blow up this mountain, but like, we don't have enough firepower. It's like, what if we were to have an accident? You know, like you were just saying, like trying to like, you know, daisy chain off a couple like GM reactors to like actually like make them pop off. And it's like, Xeon's supposed to be the bad guys, but I don't like where this conversation's going. So they're usually mindful. That was like one thing that sort of like set Gundam apart back in the 70s was like them actually being mindful about, you know, the blowback of an explosion from like a ship or something, or from a mobile suit. They're very conscious about that. So I like to think they intentionally avoid hitting the reactor when they shoot them.
Now, I will say there in this scene we're gonna watch later with the fight, there's a part that happens. Well, actually, I didn't clip it at all, but because it was like it's just cool visual. Like, there's no point in me putting this. People are gonna watch this and be like, oh yeah, this is badass. Where the dude like kicks the Iron Cavalier or whatever, and the one hops up on his shoulders and back and shoots with a rocket from point blank. I'm like, all right, look, I understand. You shot it with a rocket, cool. You guys are both either getting hurt by that or getting blown off the moon for a second or something. There's no way you're gonna shoot that rocket that close and not have any residual damage from that.
No, that's fair. But it looked really cool, right?
It looked hella cool, bro. Yeah. But speaking of the Zaku, let's look at the Zaku.
Area of Bawaku. We're unfamiliar with that zone.
These must be similar to those machines called mobile workers.
We have those things at our Jaburo-based construction site, too.
You're wrong! This is something totally different! It's evolved now, and it's become something else entirely.
This must be a Bawaku, an asteroid they're mining for its mineral resources. And their mobile suit is equipped with a shield and a weapon. This footage that you're seeing right now is combat mode.
100mm projectile rounds!
That's on par with a tank cannon.
That's a freighter. Arcana class, I believe.
They're just doing that to show off.
It'll take
I
more
chop
than
that clip up for
100mm
y'all
rounds to
to get
take
the
down
important
one
bits in there. But damn, first off, they were so smug. They were so smug about their suits being in their ships and Armada being better than the Xeon, but they're not. Yeah. They're not at all. Just the sheer fear in Tim's face when that's going on. It's like he knows, like, oh shit, I need to step my game up. Like, we need to do something about this or else.
Yeah. They're so arrogant. They're so arrogant. In this episode, in the next episode, in the episode after, even in like the original series, like that's like the one of the defining qualities about the Earth Federation is like their smugness, their hubris, and like their inflexibility. I think is probably like the biggest thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating to see them because, like, conversations like that are happening, like, in our actual military too. Like, there's pieces of shit like that, like making actual decisions that affect actual people's lives.
Yeah, my dad was in the Marine Corps for 30 years, and so I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm not allowed to talk about with my father that are just like, I'd probably want to punch a hole through a wall because of people like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, are you sure? Like, I've heard some stories from my father about things that happened, and I got heated. And like, damn, it's not even me that got affected, like, directly. But I could have been directly affected by that decision. Jesus Christ. Sure. But yeah, the Zeon has the upper hand. They're doing the thing, and like, I'm gonna show this next clip real quick. It's real quick, but it basically just shows they go downstairs and they're like, oh, we don't need these plans. We can do this and that, and our mobile suits are gonna be way better. Blah 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 this, blah 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 that. But on the contrary, Tim, who actually knows what's going on, sees the suits, and this is his reaction.
This isn't it. This isn't what Dr. Minovsky called a mobile suit. This isn't it! This is not a mobile suit!
The situation is bad when you walk downstairs and your mouth's already like open and your jaw's dropped and you're just visibly shaking and frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because those aren't even like the technical, like, I think the gun cannons we see in like the original Gundam series, that's like the RX-77D gun cannon, I think. So these guys are not even the same suit, but like clearly there's like the inspiration there.
They like copied the homework but changed enough of it to hopefully not get caught out. But unfortunately,
enough,
they shouldn't have copied the homework and changed it. Should have just straight up copied it.
Yeah.
They should have just cheated.
This is getting interesting though, because like they were just talking about how like Minovsky, because I think he was with the Earth Federation and then defected to Zeon, and now he wants to like defect back from Zeon to the Earth Federation. But he's just like the Oppenheimer, just like look at me, I am become death.
Yeah, and like
it's just fascinating shit. Like the parallels are just so good,
and I think Minovsky knew what was going to happen, but I think he didn't have an idea of the scale. Like so with Oppenheimer, it's like when they realize the scale of what's going to happen with their creation, it's like, oh God, seriously, this is what I'm gonna make. Why me, Lord? Why did I have to do this? Why did I have to be great at my job? Oh man, that's just so bad, so incredibly bad. I feel bad for Tim because he's the guy who's getting like railed on by these Federation leaders and his company and whatnot, and it's like, no, listen to me. I know what's happening. I was the student of this guy. I was his best student. Please let me be great and have my greatness for the love of God. Oh man.
Yeah, and also it's like, well, of course we're failing. Like, you guys are the ones in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you don't know what you're doing. Please, just let me do the thing. But Tim ends up going to the moon because there's a meeting going on between Cassilia, who's in camouflage, as Catherine, and then the mayor. The mayor of what's the city called? Granada.
Von Braun City.
Yeah. So that's going down.
Granada.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's going down, and then on the other side of the city / moon is this deal where Minovsky's going to leave Zeonic, which is funny that the company that's doing the Zaku's is called Zeonic after Zeon, but nepotism is real, but who cares? And then they're trying to extract him, the Federation are, But nothing goes according to plan ever. But before we get there, we gotta see this walk up of these dope ass Sakus. Like, this is a tight scene. This is a funny conversation as well.
And I'd assume there'll be some place to take a break between now and then, Captain.
Won't find a 5-star hotel, but our red friend went up ahead. He'll be waiting for us with some coffee.
Wait, that guy? I really can't stand that jerk. They say he hardly has any training, and they just went ahead and made him an MS pilot. I hear he got kicked out of the military academy and even has a criminal record. I can just imagine him sucking up to Colonel Dozel, can't you? Bet he's a smooth talker.
I don't know about that. He's definitely got talent.
Good lord. You aren't turning into a softie, are you, Captain?
Gaia, make those two shut up, will ya?
Afraid you'll just have to grin and bear it. Once those guys are worked up, there's nothing I can do. Cut them some slack, though. They're just pumped about getting to be in the first mobile suit battle ever.
What a line! The first mobile suit battle ever. But what a conversation that is. We all know they're talking about the one and only Char Aznavour. But shout out to Ramba for staying alive and having his little crew to lead as they have to walk across the moon because their boosters are bad.
Yeah, smart. You know, always like the strategist. Ramba's in like the original series, and he's like clearly like the best quality of person that like fights against the Gundam team. You know, like he believes in Zeon or whatever, like fights for Zeon, but like, you know, he's clearly like a good person in addition to that. And like this Origin series kind of ruined the Black Tri-Stars for me. Like, is it Mash, Ortega, and the other one? Gaia, thank you. Because they were also like honorable people in the original series, but here they're just kind of just fucking punks.
They are. They really are. I like them because they're at least it comes off as an unintentional comedic relief characters.
Sure,
like their group, but they're also just brutal and vicious and have no how can I say this? They have no like prestige about them. You know,
no filter.
No filter, no prestige. They're just very blue collar to the T and just like I'm trying to
killing people with mobile suits makes them a little horny.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly. Unfortunately, it makes them horny. But with the Black Stars, cool group name, not gonna lie. They've been the Black Stars, and then we all know the red one. The he has to stand out. He has to be the one with all the attention. None of the Chars in the ball, like I said. So, watching it,
man. Sorry, I just realized this is UC 78, right?
Yep, 78.
All right, and then they fight. I think this show starts in like September of 0079.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking man, Ramba Raw really lets himself go between now and then.
He does. He really does. Because he was like this nice, like fit, you know, military man.
Yeah,
you can tell he worked
sturdy.
out.
You know, he was sturdy.
Yeah. He could probably be like an outside linebacker, you know, today's NFL or whatever.
Super successful amateur boxer. You know, like he had that kind of
And then
it's just a fat dad in the original series.
Fat dad with Haman on his arm, even like in mid battle. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
you really let yourself go. He's 6 months up.
Yeah, he must have a huge dick. I don't know why Crowley would stick around if he looks like he ate old Ramba Raw. You know,
he became his father Jimba is what happened.
Yeah,
he became Jimba. I want them to redo Mobile Suit Gundam, but I want them to keep Ramba slim and fit. It would only make sense.
Like a Lucas style remake. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we're about to get to this battle, which is cool. However, these motherfuckers get smoked. Like, there's no other way around it. They get smoked. It's bad. Like,
it's not even close. It's not even remotely close.
If this were a video podcast, I'd definitely just play the whole part and just say screw the DMCA. I'll take it. But it's like a good, like, it feels like 5 minutes of action. Just pure destruction, left and right, left and right, left and right. Oh.
Yeah, dude, the only other scene that like really makes me feel that way is this might be a deep cut, it depends. But it was just the 4th of July, right? And so like Independence Day was on like every channel. And it felt like the first time like the US Air Force went up against the aliens, and they just showed that screen of like green fighter jets, and every time one of them got shot down, it would just like turn it to red, and it just like the screen just went from green to red, just it was like 12 seconds. Like it took no time. Like it felt exactly like that, just translated to an anime.
But in like, I think one of the a big distinction is the Federation had their troops be very organized with their attack and plan of attack. Whereas Zeon's like, and Zaku's just like, fuck it, just take him out. We don't care. Just listen to what Rambo has to say. Do what you got to do to win. Because you see them like kicking people, hitting them with the knees. Bro, I was like watching one of the scenes happen. One of the Black Stars, he runs up to one of the Iron Cavalry, right? And do you play Guilty Gear at all? I don't think you do, right?
I've seen it streamed. I love that art style. I just don't have the brain for fighting games.
There's a character, Soul Bad Guy, those who know. He basically does Soul's 5K, which is you knee them and then you kick them right afterwards. I was like, oh shit, whoever animated this loves Guilty Gear, because that's definitely in a video game right there. And like, they just start going to town. But it's funny because that kick in that style of like doing whatever to win, you see Char do that later in like the original Mobile Suit Gundam series as well. And so it's I love this how drastically different those two styles are for that fighting, which obviously like one of the Zaku's are way better suits, and the Iron Cavalry just got demolished because they're bad suits, and they're also equally bad pilots. Any thoughts on that battle besides seeing how fucking dope it was?
Yeah, no, you're totally right. The TriStars made that shit look like a bar fight.
Yeah, they really did.
And yeah, again, just like the arrogance and inflexibility of the Earth Federation Space Forces, or Earth Federal Space Forces, like it makes perfect sense what's about to happen in the next episode, you know?
Yeah. So my clips to get out of order, but there's a quote that said, I'll cut it in there, but you know what clip I'm talking about.
The enemy forces have engaged.
Copy that. Squadron! All units drop now!
Our objective is to protect the doctor's car. Here's the plan. Surround the enemy and then take them out! Good work, men! Show those Federation scumbags what real mobile suits can do! No, you don't! You're not getting away that easily!
They're gonna get slaughtered at this rate! Recall mobile suits! All remaining forces retreat!
The sucker bites the dust!
Like you said, the arrogance of them cost them their lives. Oh man, so bad, just so bad.
Yeah, it's hard to watch, especially knowing everything we know about like how the 1 Year War shakes out, and we're just like, you know, it's just, did you play that game Quantum Break?
I did not.
Okay, like they go back in time like this chick goes back in time by accident, and the first thing she tries to do is like stop 9/11. You know, it's just like everything she knows about like the future. She's just like, oh man, I could save so much if we just stop this from happening. And so like all the knowledge you're burdened with, you know, having seen Zeta Gundam and 0083 and 008, like you just see like all this heartache, and you're just like, man, this was the room that like set the course that dictated the lives of billions of people. And it was just like these fucking punkheads not being able to compromise or be compassionate or like be smarter, you know, or like be better at their jobs, you know, like whatever path you want to take. out of this impending war that's just going to destroy humanity. It's just so frustrating, like, watching this and being like, you sons of bitches, like, you could have stopped it, but you just egged it on.
And like, it's and for those that watch it, you'll know that clip I put is before that battle happens, when they're trying to like go pick up Minovsky. And it's just, like you said, they're just boneheaded decisions, so much cockiness in their numbers, and they pay for it. They pay for it by a lot, which it keeps the companies happy, you know.
Yeah.
Anaheim, like, shit, we're going to make more money off the government. Why not? I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, man, this Gundam is, like, really anti-war. It's also kind of just, like, anti-bureaucracy, too, you know? Because it's, like, even in the original series, like, even the Federal Forces, like, who were, like, we were taught from episode 1 the good guys, you know? Like, they didn't start the war, but, like, they want to finish it. Every time they involve themselves with, like, the actual, like, brass, like, the actual, like, military structure, they fucking hate them. Like, they hate them so much. And it's like, I can't stand the people I'm fighting this war with, except for the people on this base. And like, this base is made up, it's like a citizen militia basically, because half the real crew died. And so it's just the people who were on the colony who were just like, I guess I'll be a gunner, you know? Like, that's like where the white base crew came from.
You kind of have to go, like, you it's the people you go through the trenches with, and the people that are like your bosses and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. And it's just like, every time you see these people, it's just, oh god, sorry, it makes me hate bureaucracy even more. Good job, Gundam.
It feels also it feels like an anti-government claim as well, and sometimes like with how they build stuff and show things. Because there's a clip in particular, I think going into, I think it's next episode or 6, where like they say there's all these different lines the narrator drops. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty spot on with this one. Like I can't argue with this one. Like, he's 100% correct. Which, well, I'm not gonna spoil future shows, but you guys will hear it. You'll know what I'm talking about when we get there together. There's that god damn, like, and as this is going on, Cassilia, aka Catherine, is meeting with the mayor of Granada, like we previewed earlier. And basically saying, she gets the phone call like, oh, okay, cool. By the way, this battle just went down on the other side of your planet. Might want to go check in on this, blah blah blah, this blah blah that. But the guy's like, no, we're mutual. How can this be? And Cassilia gets him killed, just straight up blown up. Well, ran over by a big old dump truck, because she is cold.
Yeah, man, that felt like some 70s like you know, CIA shit. Like,
it really is. It's definitely some like, all right, this is our premier hit squad that's gonna come in here and take this out. You ready? All right, cool, done.
Also, I hate to be like objectifying. Cassilia does not look good as a blonde.
No, she does not.
She can't pull it off.
It was really awkward when they went to the club scene and she's dancing with that random dude who looks like Kuwabara if he was like, in space. By the way, you know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
Oh, you'll know exactly if you just roll that back and see that part. It's super awkward in that club where she's dancing. It's like, she is getting her dance on, but she could kill everybody in this room if she really wanted to, because she's
like with her thighs. Yeah, she could just pop their heads off. Real quick, also, the mayor of Granada had a wonderful name. It was Smokey Wilson.
Oh no! So I never looked up his name, but he's the only black character I saw. I was like, damn, they actually got his hair right and everything. Like, I'm with it. And then we get smoked. We got smoked. Bits.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all good. You know, it's better than a horror movie. Like, at least it was, you know, it was a noble death, somewhat. But
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say it was noble, even though it was. I'm gonna make myself feel better about it. But we're pretty much towards the end of the episode here. Like, the big battle, like, we built to this battle, and then it's kind of a decline in action here, but mainly a lot of like world building and story building. Mm-hmm. Just to like give y'all an idea, after this happens, Tim goes back to Anaheim's like, guys, we're fucking trash. we need to do something about this. And we finally have the word Gundam dropped in the series. And for that, I even got a clip for you.
You speak as though you weren't even a part of the project. You're as much to blame as anyone else.
That's right.
How dare you point the finger at us?
I admit, the blame certainly does lie partly with me. So let me officially take full responsibility. Please, I need your help. Help me to advance the RX project into the next phase.
You're just in this for your own self-interest.
You don't belong here.
If you'd like me to leave, I will gladly. However, what will become of your mobile suit development program after this? It will be dead in the water, which means you will then be forfeiting the game to Zionic. Dr. Minovsky decided to defect. He sacrificed everything for the chance to work with us. And in the end, he sacrificed his own life. I was there when it happened, but there wasn't anything I could do. But we can carry on his work.
That is easier said than done.
I certainly sympathize with you, however...
There's no need for concern. The project has been coming along nicely. In fact, it's almost complete. Allow me to prove it to you. I will show you our definitive plan. Behold! I present the RX-78! Codename... Gundam!
Big Dick Energy by Tim Ray right there.
Such an interesting scene because I think it happens in the next episode. Again, I watched like 3 in a row today, so they're all kind of bleeding together. But there's a scene with like Zeon generals and admirals that it's like constructed like the same exact way, where it's like I think it's either Degwin or Dozel at the front, the way Tem is in the scene, and just like lines of people, showing that there's inherently like no difference between the Federation and Zeon. Like it's just which piece of shit would you rather be under the thumb of, But yeah, dude, like it's such a great tease, and like we knew it was coming. Like we were just basically waiting for the Gundam to appear in Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, and I kind of like that it's set up as like an answer, like everything else the Federation does sucks ass, but Gundam will save it,
Yes, exactly. Like it. I love the smugness that he gets, where it's like, oh, well, I'll take responsibility, but if you want to kick me out, what the fuck are y'all gonna do? Y'all don't have the research. Y'all don't have the science.
Oh, it's so good. And like his like subordinates were like, hey, if we're so dumb and bad at our jobs and you're the leader of us, aren't you the worst at your job? Like that was like the argument they were making. It's like, if I'm so dumb and you're in charge of me, aren't you really dumb for hiring me, you idiot? Like that was like what they were saying. That was the vibe I got from that one guy. I really liked it.
Yeah, but I feel like with Tim, I like that he took responsibility for the project failing.
Even he though said partly with me. Like
yeah. But even though, like you said, like we saw in the other clip, where like these aren't mobile suits. Like this is not what we were designing. This is not what we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and I guess him admitting that he was wrong or like he fucked up is like more than anyone fighting for the EFSF has done yet. Like
yep.
None of the admirals would ever admit that like the Zeon weapons were better than their weapons, except Tem, and like he's the dude who like was right.
Yeah. He's right all along. He's like, I designed the fucking thing. I know what we need to do. Just listen to me. Listen to me.
Also, was that Amuro's first like new type moment that we saw? Like as soon as he says Gundam, Amuro wakes up and he feels compelled to explore his house.
I feel like it's not a new type moment. I feel like that's just like a good tease with the editing they did.
Okay.
But we're about to see in this next clip actually like what happens when you don't listen.
Don't go in.
And our lad has finally found his destiny. He walks into his dad's secret stash of not pornos, but schematics and plans for Gundam. Man.
Yeah, again, I think this This makes the original series a little less special, but it also makes it a little more realistic too.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like in the context of the original series, it was like they were trying to load the Gundam onto White Base as the colony was under attack from, I think, 3 Zaku's. Like Char was leading a team. And you know, like the Gundam was like sort of like unearthed, and Amuro was like, maybe I could use this to like help.
Yeah.
And he was like literally like reading the instruction manual inside of it, just being like, oh, I guess I walk with this lever. But like if he's like been exposed to it, like that sort of recontextualizes it in a strange way. But also, I don't believe a human being could just learn how to operate the most powerful piece of war machinery that's ever existed, you know, within 8 seconds of just like skimming through a page. So
yeah, true, because I'm glad I watched this before watching Mobile Suit Gundam, because watching that first episode, it's like, yeah, there's no absolute way that happens. Like, they're getting smoked by all these Zaku's, and it's game over. Amuro catches like 3 bodies in 2 episodes.
Oh my god, yeah, it cuts a Zaku in half, and I think he like specifically cuts it so it won't set off a nuclear reaction with its reactor, right? Like,
yeah.
I think he actually says something, at least in like one of the dubs that I've seen, he does. And it's like, oh yes, Sun Tzu, like you just put that together like off the dome. That's pretty amazing for a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, which it in this becomes essentially his existence, is like seeing those plans and what his dad is working on, because I think this whole time he thinks his dad is working on like the building the colony or like the base, the new Federation.
Yeah,
base.
that's like his undercover thing, is like a colony engineer.
Yeah, which again, some CIA shit, but also when you're somebody that is doing that, like that's your job, how do you just like have a normal ass door for that, you know? Like your house. Like,
yeah, get a keypad, get a lock, you know,
something.
Get like even like a push, like a button lock.
Yeah, hide it somewhere, like put it on your phone, your person, do something like. It's
also, it's tough because like this show was the future according to like 1978, right? 1977, whenever it came out, 79. And so like they couldn't have predicted like cell phones back then, but it's like, come on, man. Like you couldn't have guessed that like someone would be aware of someone walking into a room.
I don't know,
even
man.
if they weren't there.
They had risk communicators in an episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. Like Amuro had an Apple Watch. He had an Apple Watch and took a phone call on it. We seen it.
I don't know if it's an Apple Watch. I think it might have been a Pebble, but yeah, he did.
The precursor to Apple Watches. Shout out to Pebble.
Yeah, man, you remember Pebbles? God, I never get to make Pebble jokes. That's great.
I remember one of my like old teammates in college. He pre-ordered one on Kickstarter back when Kickstarter was new and the Pebble was a new thing, and it was the coolest thing that I'd ever seen. I was like, damn, that's sick. It was getting his text messages and all that stuff. Like, yo, that's wild.
God, it was so cool. God, the future was so cool before we got there.
Right? Now it's like, this shit sucks. Why doesn't it work half the time?
God, I hate it here. Yeah.
Why is it so expensive? It's supposed to be affordable.
All right.
Why does living cost money?
I think existence is pain. So I think you're queuing up a clip, and it's like Amuro driving back on a moped, right?
Yeah, it's we finally, well, we saw Frau earlier. I didn't include it, but we really see these last few clips are really just like we're discovering who Amuro is, and then also Frau and Amuro's relationship is very weird. I feel bad for Frau personally because Frau is like putting out all this like, I wouldn't say feelers or love, but I mean it is a form of love that she's giving out.
Yeah, it's like affection. Yeah.
Yeah, and like trying to take care and like make sure Amuro is being taken care of. And Amuro is just being partly a dumb teenager, but also just so consumed with his work to where we're gonna see right now. But unless you had something you want to say before the clip rolls.
No, I just love that like everyone has like a battery operated Vespa in space.
Honestly,
I just think that's really cool.
Mr. Amuro! Amuro, wake up!
Welcome home, Dad!
Amuro, wait up! Wanna head home together? You, seem really exhausted lately. Have you been pulling all-nighters or something? Did you remember to eat your dinner last night?
I ate it, okay?
Oh. Well, that's good, I guess.
Look, it's the conduct police. You planning on giving Amuro a yellow card too?
Staying up too late is a no-no. Falling asleep in class is also a no-no.
Flirting with monitors is the biggest no-no.
You will regret this! Shut the hell up!
Make sure you let her give your conduct a good monitoring, Amuro.
Those jerks. It's best to just not associate with those kinds of boys. And that Kai's the worst of them. He's been held back a year. Are you okay, Amuro?
I just got something I have to take care of. I'll see you later.
But, Amuro? Oh yeah. Have you made plans for Christmas yet?
Huh?
You'll be alone, right? I can bake a cake and bring it over for you. It'll be delicious, okay?
I know I said this during the clip, but Frau is the oldest teenager ever. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, it seems really annoying, but at the same time, Amuro seems like he needs it. So like I don't know if it's like actually annoying. It seems justified because like he's like proto emo boy, right? Like
yeah, I wouldn't say he's like emo boy. I think he just lacks the will, and I think he's just very direct in what he wants to do, which is his research into this Gundam project that he found.
Sure.
And he wants to do with nothing else. But also, he's a dumb teenager that doesn't know how to read the signs that a girl likes him.
Sure, but also like, how inconsequential would school seem when you stumble upon plans for the most advanced war machine ever in your dad's room? You know, it's just like, how could you even pretend that like reading Jane Eyre matters? You know?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I love he wakes up, there's the long pause. Welcome home, Dad. And then everybody's like, what? It just laughs at him.
It's amazing how he's so predominantly obsessed with father issues when he clearly has mother issues too, you know? But it's just like the daddy issues just like completely overwhelm the clear mother issues he also has. I mean, he's had a rough life. He's had a weird life.
He really has. And since you mentioned it, I'll roll the clip that I had earlier that'll pretty much sum up their relationship. Because it's so true where Amuro has almost no parental figure in his life. And I'll give my piece afterwards, but here we go.
Amuro, I'm back from work. It's always such a pigsty in here.
Oh, hey, welcome back, Dad.
Would it kill you to clean up a bit? This place is filthy. Anyway, I have to pack. I'm going to the moon on another business trip. I'm doing very important work.
You heard Huddle. Ow.
Go make me some coffee, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to be even busier than ever from now on, which means you have to... Amuro! Will you put some pants on? Don't be such a slob!
Yes, Dad.
I can't believe you had a girl over when you were dressed like that! Seriously, no matter what, that boy just refuses to grow up.
I think it's funny there that he says the boy refuses to grow up when he's never there to be a father to him.
That's a great point. And also, I think it's really funny that he was like, I can't believe you had a girl over and you were dressed like that. Like, it never crossed his mind once that, like, Amuro could be fucking.
Right.
Like, he just sees him as underwear, just like, oh, this fucking loser kid. Like, it never crosses his mind, even remotely for half a second, that, like, he could just be, you know, just hanging out with Frau.
In the streets and in the sheets, as one might say.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of like a respectful way to say it, and I didn't want to be disrespectful to someone who's had such a hard life like Amuro. But yeah, I love that he's just like, my kid's a fucking loser. Of course, he's not banging Frau. Like he could never.
I also think that Tim is so disassociated with regular human life to where he doesn't know how to be a dad anymore. Because he just says, Amuro, I'm home from work. I'm leaving for to the moon. Make me some coffee. Doesn't ask his son anything about how he's doing. Doesn't ask his son about like how's school, how's the neighbor, all of this. Just here are my commands. Do them now. Like, the one fatherly thing he did was like, bro, wear your pants. Like, wear some pants in the house, dog. You're a teenager for crying out loud. But I feel bad for Amuro. I really do. But I think that's why he dives so deep into this the Gundam, is that this is his only connection with his father that he could have.
Mm-hmm. I think you're onto something, yeah.
Look at me, onto something. I'm doing the damn thing.
Old Detective Jeff strikes again.
Yeah, as somebody who also has parental issues, I can smell them from a mile away, baby. Let's do it. But, yeah, I had a clip of Amuro researching, but that one's not as important right now. But back to like present, where like Frau was talking about Christmas. Christmas is like a couple days away. Tim is already gone to the moon to do his stuff and things. Amuro is just knee deep in trash, dirty clothes, and research, trying to figure out what the hell this thing his dad is building. And here comes Frau, just all distraught and sad. Like, God, I feel so bad for this girl. Like, don't you feel bad for her too, right? Like, a little bit?
Yeah. But also, like, I don't think he's necessarily, like, leading her on. You know, it's just one of those things where... And, like, I don't even think she's, like, romantically interested in him. You know, like... I think it's almost like taking care of a puppy, but the puppy won't let you pet it. You know?
Right,
like, I think it's more like that, where, like, she is, like, just going out of her way to show, like, human affection, and she's not being reciprocated at all. And, like, maybe she's doing that because she's really lonely, you know?
Yeah, and, like... It's I think Amuro needs the help and the attention and the care, because obviously we can tell from like how he lives, nobody else is there to take care of him. And like, I'm not gonna lie, if I was his age and my dad was gone all the time and I just had to go to school every day by myself, I wouldn't clean up like that at 16 years old. I wouldn't be unpacking all my stuff. I would be chilling my boxes as well.
Yeah.
Like, and like you said, like, Frau definitely, I don't think, is in like a romantic way, but it's more of a parental motherly way, which please don't come for me for saying motherly, because she's a
no. I think she's asking him like, oh, did you eat your dinner last night? Like, that's totally like what a mom does, you know. So I think you're 100% right. Don't worry, I'm not Freud. Like, I'm not here to tell you anything about your answer.
So let's
yeah,
see.
And it's really funny because we know Frau develops a relationship in the original series.
She marries Hayato, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what spoilers we were doing or not doing.
It's Mobile Suit Gundam. They'll forget about it by the time that actually happens. Let's be real.
That's a good point. It also did come out like 50 years ago, so I'm not gonna say you didn't have enough time to like watch it if you really wanted to, but you definitely did.
Let's be fair. It was probably really hard to find, so. It took me a while to find it
until the 2000s. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it sucks. I think we're like about to wrap up the episode. I think we only got like one or two more things to talk about. But like, it sucks because she's like, oh, it's Christmas in a couple days, and it's like Christmas is. We know the timeline. Like, if you're watching the Origin, if you've seen like the original series, you know the timeline. Like, you know the 1 year war begins in January, like in early January.
Yep.
And so it feels almost like 2019 in a way, you know, where it's just like,
well, actually, the war started like this day. Like, this is the day the war started.
No, the war. I thought like the official. I guess with the mobile suit battle. Yeah,
because the newscaster says in the clip, like earlier in the clip that I'm about to show, that the Zeon and Federation have officially like declared war.
Yeah, but like the 1 week war happens in January.
Oh yeah, the 1 week war. Yeah, the 1 week war.
And that's like where I think like most of the deaths that happen in the entire 1 year.
That's where all the real shit happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the deaths that happen in the 1 year war happen in the 1 week war, which is just like fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But oh god, sorry, what was I just saying? Before that.
Christmas, Frau.
And
December 2019.
Oh yes, thank you. Sorry, that's what it was. Where it's just like, oh man, like, do you remember like that was the last Christmas where like you didn't have to worry about COVID? It's just like,
that was a great month for me. So I quit my old job. I started my new job. I went to California for a week. I got to finally spend the holidays with my family. I was like, man, I'm about to be able to hang out with my family all 2020 for holidays, do X, Y, and Z. I can go to all these FGC events. COVID hit the triple double, and I was inside for a year and some change. So were you.
I hear you, but it's just like watching that, or it's just like, it's just insane. Where it's like, you know what's about to happen. You're like, oh man, this is like your last normal holiday ever. Like,
right. All right, this is a little sidetrack from Gundam, but have you like seen all the documentaries and like movies and stuff that have coming out about COVID like recently?
No.
Like on HBO Max, there's a couple documentaries about COVID and stuff. And it's like, I don't want to watch this not fully removed from the situation yet. Like,
yeah, man. Like, I still wear a mask into a gas station. Like,
right.
I'm not ready to. We don't have enough hindsight to like talk about it yet. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Give me like 2-3 years that I want to watch this. Yes, but right now it's like, let me chill out on the virus that killed many millions of people at this point in time.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I listened to this one podcast that talks about the Oscars, and like their thing is like, we don't think the Oscars should be given out the year of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we think there should be like a 5-year delay, and so like a movie would have to like really be special to hold up 5 years later, and like that way like the right one always wins. Because it's like, remember, like I think it was 2012, like The Artist won Best Picture, and like who the fuck has thought of that movie since that movie came out? No one, literally no one.
Isn't The Artist like the black and white silent film?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go watch it because it was on Netflix at one point in time.
Yeah.
I started it and I was like, oh, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
You got it.
And, like, and I don't even know if The Social Network is the best movie that came out in 2012, but like it did come out in 2012, and
it was the most impactful.
Yeah, I'd rather watch that than The Artist, you know? And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to watch COVID yet. Yeah. I want to watch it 6 years from now so I can like see every possible institutional failure that happened, because we're still living through a lot of institutional failures, and I'm sure there's some that we haven't even realized are failures yet. So give us some time to like really see every domino fall first.
Yeah, let us decompress, and by decompress I mean finally get out of this to where it's not going to be a huge deal, and then
also that's ridiculous. One last tangent. Sorry, that's ridiculous.
No, go ahead.
It's like making a documentary about like an asteroid about to hit Earth. You know, like it's just, it's like, oh, do you want to sit and watch the comments and talk about like the New Orleans riots that happened, and like the New York Gambit or whatever like bullshit made up thing they call everything that happens in a situation like that, where it's just like, oh, you want to see what happens when a comet's heading towards Earth? It's like,
as the colony's heading towards Earth, there's rioting in the streets.
Yeah,
Ward 11.
It's like, I don't need to see this movie, man. Like I'm fucking doing it.
Like, yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, like that. I'm like thinking about that. Cause like, yeah, this is like, this was our December 2019, but when everything changed.
Yeah.
But let's watch Frau freak out and go crazy because she deservedly needed to do this.
Yeah.
Well, this turned out to be a fine mess.
Where are you going now?
Just to a friend's place. I promised I'd stop by.
Hey, wait! Now's not the time to be going out.
Amuro, you decent? I'm coming in.
Welcome, Frau. Please enjoy your stay.
You sure are clever, aren't you?
Please pardon the mess.
The fighting continues to rage on in the Von Braun area. The Federation government is calling on all colonies to...
Amuro, are you going to come down? The lasagna I brought over is going to get cold.
Why do you have to be such a jerk? All you ever do is just sit in front of that computer. Do you even realize there's a war going on and that tons of people are dying as you just sit there?
I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to it. Your lasagna, so don't you worry. I'm gonna eat it. It may seem like I don't care, The truth is, I'm scared about the war. However, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do anything about, really. I'm really sorry.
1. Poor Frau. 2. Amuro. Little do you know.
Yeah, and also, like, it was clearly she, like, broke down about something else. You know, like, and this was just, like, the last straw to like, push her. I think she had a fair point. Like, I have a relative that I know that, like, I'll be talking to a bunch, and they just won't be paying attention because they have, like, one headphone into their computer, and it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I'm trying to talk to you like a human being. Can you please just disconnect? Like, I totally get, like, her frustration there.
Acknowledge me!
I mean, kind of, where it's just like, hey, like, I'm a human being and I'm like 5 feet away from you and I'm trying to talk to you, but like your head is shoved so far up your ass you can't even realize it.
Yeah,
not great. And yeah, just the irony of him being like, there's nothing I can do about it. I feel so helpless. And it's like, you're arguably one of the 2 most important people of this century, you know, like of the next 3 centuries. Like, it's like you, Char, and like Minovsky are like probably the 3 most important people, right?
Like, little do you know, boy, you're about to be the world changer here, galaxy changer, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, and it's just like how much of like the solar system is responsible because of like what he was able to do. You know, like the Jupiter energy fleet, like that has to have something to do with him being the person he is. And he's just like, dude, you shaped the century. Like,
yeah,
I can't believe you just felt like a little dweeb in like your computer room. You know,
and to be fair though, he's probably mad confused because he has basically no parents, no guidance. He's trying to figure out what this puzzle is that is Gundam, and he seemingly has no real direction in his life right now.
Sure.
Which is probably why, like I said earlier, he's diving so deep into this Gundam thing. Is his dad's connection. Also, he has some sort of like thing to care about for a change. And yeah, Frau just feel bad. If I had somebody in my life like Frau that was like trying to like keep me fed and take care of me, whatever, I am at their beck and call, making sure they're okay and have whatever they need in like time of need. If they,
well, that's the thing though, is like in high school you think like, stop it, you're like embarrassing me kind of deal, and then like when you're 30 you're like, oh man, I should have dated. Like you see, you know, you go on like Facebook, whatever they have, Facebook in space, and you're just like, you see pictures of her and Hayato, and you're just like, oh man, like I can't believe I could have had that life with that person.
Right.
You know,
what would Twitter be called in space? Like,
oh man,
I was gonna say lunar, but that's a little like lame.
That's not,
maybe
that's
like
not lame.
Maybe like constellations. It's like all these tweets are just constellations.
Okay,
like,
I dig
every
that, yeah.
tweet is actually called a star.
Okay. Let's brainstorm on this and we'll bring some ideas for the next episode.
Right.
Just renaming normal things for how they'd be in space.
But we have our closing clip here, which is a kind of a heartwarming moment, but also bit of a bit not ironic, but there's another word for it. Maybe iconoclast, but here we go.
Lala, what are you doing right now?
I'm gazing up at the stars. I love the way they twinkle. It's so pretty.
The stars don't actually twinkle here in space.
What? Is that true?
Do me a favor and sit tight. I'll be back as soon as I'm done with this job, okay?
Man, so wait, hold on. Are the twinkles she's talking about, are they just like explosions of people dying in space?
I think so.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
I think so. Because it's a you have the moment of him, like, sick ass animation, by the way, him flying around shooting and like battling whatever in the explosions.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
This war, and in this weird moment of peace and serenity where he's talking to Lala, his boo thing at the time, and like having a normal conversation, and then back to war. Like the ending scenes, like, goes to credits, but he's like flying around doing stuff, and you see like his red trail from his Zaku or whatever, you know, because he's the red comet. But
not yet.
He's going to. but it's just so what a contrast in that scene there. I'm stuck.
There's a really conflicting line that Char has about Lala in, I think it's Char's Counterattack, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like this situation, it totally seems like he's just, he's like, she's like a side piece on the moon, right?
Pretty much.
Like that's the vibes I got, where it's just like, she's just waiting for him to come back, and just they're just gonna fuck as soon as he gets back. Like that's definitely the vibe I'm getting. And
he quite literally took her out of this world.
Oh, that was sweet.
Interpret that how you feel, but overall, like this is a weaker episode, but it's still really good.
It moves things forward.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like a less cohesive, like one-off narrative. The way, like, I think episode 3 was like really self-contained, but it was like all leading up to one moment. Whereas like this is getting the ball rolling for so many different things.
Yeah,
like this is them like setting shit up.
Shoot. Any closing thoughts? I'm sorry, I just saw your message saying your battery's dying. My bad.
It's cool. I was able to sneak off and not tumble my mic too much and grab my charger. Yeah, man. Origin's a lot better than I remember. I was a little disappointed with it when it first came out, just because it felt like they just kind of did a whole bunch of episode 1 stuff to Gundam that just felt unnecessary. You know, it's just like, did we really have to see Anakin build C-3PO? Like, no. We could have just accepted that C-3PO was just a robot that existed in Star Wars, you know?
Right.
Like, there didn't have to be so many tenuous connections between the two. And I felt like they were doing that, but the more I watch it now, the more I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. I think, like I said, like it's a slow burn, but when you're watching, I'm like, oh yeah, this all makes sense. Like, I get the reason for this episode. It doesn't stick out too much, but it's like, oh, we wouldn't have gotten to X, Y, and Z without this episode right here.
Yeah.
So, well, y'all, thank you once again for coming through and hanging out with us. We have 2 more episodes. We'll be back in 2 weeks covering episode 5, aka Operation British. It was going to be called. I already said on the headline the title for that one. So we'll catch y'all on the flippity flip. George, thank you once again, my
thanks
gracious
for having me, Jeff.
co-host. Like, you are the MVP, the bomb.
Oh, stop! It's been a blast. I never get to talk about Gundam with anyone, so this has been everything I've wanted to do since I was 10 years old. It's just fucking talk about Gundam with someone. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
I'm so glad I can fulfill that need for you. But everybody,
it's been great.
Take care, stay hydrated, be nice to each other, be good. Peace.
Smooch.
First, I want to thank George once again for blessing us with his presence and allowing me to borrow your evenings to record these sessions. Thank you very much. And also want to thank you, listener, for coming by week after week, listening, subscribing, liking, sharing with your friends. All stuff you should be doing after you listen and while you're listening to this podcast. But we'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. We're going to go over part 5 of the series. This episode is really crucial and also pretty messed up, so be prepared. But anyway, catch you in 2 weeks. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, do the things, all the plugs that you're supposed to do for being a content creator. All right, see y'all later.